Are you feeling lonely? I'm going to tell you right now that you are not alone in that. I'm going to expose to you the hidden truth behind why we are all so lonely and what we can do to overcome that. To put it very frank, we are in not only an emotional recession, but also the epidemic of loneliness has risen to new heights in recent years than ever. As a global society, we are online now more than we ever have been, meaning we have more connections and we think we are more digitally connected in cyberspace, but we actually lack the human, authentic connection that we are all wired for, that heart-to-heart authentic connection. But you are right in the right place, because I'm going to share with you the 4 ways to foster authentic human connection that is going to change your life. I know that when I started doing these 4 things, it started to dramatically improve my interactions with people. They started to foster open-hearted communication and relationships. I saw my networking skills soar to a new height. There's just so many applications that this human-to-human connection plays out to your benefit, leading to more fulfilling connections in your life, more fulfillment in general. So I want to get back to the root of the problem. We as a society are online now more than we ever have been. A staggering 5.6 billion of people are online globally now in the year 2025. That comprises 69% of our entire global population. And mind you, there are still so many primitive cultures out there that are not even online. So that's a huge number, 5.6 billion. In America, the average person spends 7 hours online. Remember how we are from nature and we are there for nature, part of this actual natural world. To be so consumed in a cyberspace does take its toll on our mental, emotional, sometimes physical from sedentary lack of movement, and also spiritual side of our wellness. Now, our youngest generation that is just entering into the workforce, our beloved Generation Z, this generation grew up in a digital world. Yes, millennials are the digital natives, but Generation Z has always grown up on social media. They not just shared on social media and leveraged that platform to connect with friends and family or business pursuits, but also they lived on social media. They grew up on social media. I remember watching my niece who just graduated high school. She was one of the early adopters to TikTok, and I thought it was like this crazy platform. I could not really understand why these young adolescents were interfacing with each other in video format, in that I was like, I would never do that. It feels weird and uncomfortable to me, but they are the ones who are spending about 9 hours or more, 2 over the average American in terms of hours online, and sometimes up to 15 hours. So that just, I'm not trying to call Generation Z out in any regard, but we have to look at these facts and figures sometimes when we have to look at what is the solution. Why are we all feeling lonely? Well, the common thread is overconsumption and occupying our time and our energy in cyberspaces. So where does that put us now? Well, according to the 2024 State of the Heart report done by 6 Seconds, Emotional Quotient Development Company, and by the way, Emotional Quotient is EQ for short, if you're new to that term. According to the State of the Heart 2024 report, we are in an emotional recession. There is also some correlations drawn by the research done in the documentary Social Dilemma. I highly recommend you check that out, especially if you're experiencing some of these symptoms we're talking about, the loneliness, the disconnection, the numbness, feeling unfulfilled in life. That documentary brought to light this connection between online use and depletion in development of our emotional centers, which is also the bridge for authentic communication and connection. So we are in emotional recession at this point, and we have been slowly declining over the last few years. So where does that put us? That puts us at the prime time to start refostering our human skills, our human connection skills. And I just chuckle a little bit because it's like sometimes we, as technology just surges forward at an exponential rate that is compounding on itself. While we make huge strides in technology, which we're all proud of and we all get to benefit from, it also introduces a new underlying problem that it pulls us away from our true nature. We are wired for story, we are wired for connection, we are wired for living in the heart. And if you are new to the heart connection, to developing and cultivating connection with your heart, then I encourage you to check out this playlist. I'm going to link at the end of the video. I'm going to give you my playlist so you can just run through some of those videos and brush up on those skills. Learn how to connect in with your heart. Your life will change for the better, and I promise you that. So let's get back to, what are these 4 things that we can do to overcome loneliness? Well, the underlying hardbringer of that is the disconnection and the lack of authentic connection. So I'm going to walk you through the 4 tenets of authentic connection. These are the 4 ways that I have personally gathered in my own experience as of late, and that have really taken me from feeling like, oh, how do I even really do human connection? Even after the pandemic, I think lots of us lost our people skills. I know I did. When we got back out to peopling, I felt like Bambi legs, like kind of shaky. I kind of forgot. It was like a muscle that just went to atrophy. So I reworked on my human skills, if you will. And these are the 4 things that I do that really develop a deep and meaningful relationship with someone. And it doesn't have to be like over time. This can be accomplished in a single conversation. So it only takes minutes in some cases. The 4 tenets are, number 1, ask a question. Take interest in that person's life. This can be the perfect setting for networking, or if you're meeting a stranger off the street and you're bridging a connection. This can this entire process can be used in personal relationships and professional relationships. It can also be used in other regards, like even if you're not interfacing with someone directly one-on-one, you can use this to really connect with an audience, like grow your influence. If you're an influencer, or if you're on the rise to being an influencer, you can use these tenets in your content so that you can start to bridge meaningful connections with people. And I promise you, people feel that. People can feel when you are being authentic and seeking authentic connection. So ask a question. When people are asked questions about themselves, they kind of perk up. They feel seen, felt, and heard. And underlying the psyche of all of us are these beautiful, innocent children that just want to be loved, that want to be seen and heard. I remember years ago, as I was fostering my relationship skills, as a side note, I've always been a brand designer, and that has put me in more like production roles or like behind the scenes kind of work. And while I worked in teams, it was mostly autonomous work. So I remember being in like my late 20s and 30s and being like, I am sorely deficient in relationships. Like, I don't really know how to do relationships. So I took notes from my friends who were really good at that, who had like thousands of friends, and that's just in their small circle. And can't even imagine how many were beyond that. So I had this one friend, and I just watched her, work with her friends and with her people. And she just did a lot of question asking, a lot of listening. And I remember when she would do that to me, I would just feel so seen, so heard, and it meant so much to me. Even if I came to her with a problem or something, she didn't always try to solve it. It's like she gave me the space for me to kind of like work it out myself. I'm not saying that this is what it's always going to lead to is like a therapy session, but the truth of the matter is, when people ask you questions and show genuine interest in your life, you get the spotlight on you and you finally feel seen and heard. And that is priceless. It really is. It can make or break a day. And the second thing you can do is to tell a story. We are wired for stories. So whenever people tell stories, we perk up a little bit and it makes the connection memorable. Our memory is gonna serve up stories much more readily than it will facts and figures. So that's just the truth and reality. When someone walks away from that conversation, they have a remembrance of what happened, and that creates a meaningful, authentic connection because they can remember it, and therefore they remember you. You're sharing your light, you're sharing your story. That's going to bridge the authentic connection. So tell a story. Number 3, make a heart connection. This is more leading with intention to make a heart connection. But as long as you lead with that intention and try to speak as much from your heart and lead from your heart as much as possible in that connection, you will feel it. And that, again, creates that bridge of authenticity while you're being authentic, you give the other person permission to be authentic, even on a subconscious level. This is unspoken. You don't go, okay, you have permission to be authentic, talk to me. But just you shining your authenticity releases the pressure for other people to be or to say certain things or be a certain way or be who they think they should be in that moment. There's still a lot of programming that we have contained within us and around us. So when you're authentic, it gives others the permission to be their authentic selves. And leading from the heart is going to demonstrate that. Make a heart connection. It will truly, you never know, it could like even change someone's day, change the trajectory of their day or your day. And the fourth thing you can do is leave the human better than you found them. Okay, so I have a funny story about the lead-in to that one. You may or may not be familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto's studies that he did on water. If you haven't watched The Secret Life of Water, I highly encourage you to check it out because it will like completely change the way that you look at water and how you interact with water, and it's freaking magical. So Dr. Masaru Emoto did these studies where he would have people project positive or negative or just not any at all thoughts or emotions onto different petri dishes of water, excuse me. And he did some other experiments too. I think there was like a plant or rice in water and etc. So this, since we are 70 to 80% water, and the planet is 70, 80% water, and plants are water driven, like our food has lots of water in it, there's so many ways we can continue to play this out. It doesn't just have to be petri dishes of water itself, since that's comprised in nearly everything within us and outside of us. So my friend Christy did this bread experiment with her boys. She's one of those cool moms who, actually the only one I know, who took out the TV in her house last summer and encouraged that the boys would just do analog activities. I think that's so freaking cool. So she did this experiment with them where she took 3 slices of bread. One, they projected positive intentions and words and gave it loving energy. The second one, they did nothing with. And then the third one, they projected words of hate and like, you're stupid, and just negative comments and energy. Now, over time, they observed what would happen in this experiment. And lo and behold, in the end, the one that was given all the hatred turned black, like pure black, this slice of bread. The one that was left alone started to mold. And then the one that was given the positive love and energy remained intact, you guys, intact. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this again. So her little boys, I think most of them were I think all of them are under the age of 8. So they're young, impressionable minds. She asked them after they did this experiment, okay, so what did you learn? What did we learn from this experiment? And her littlest boy was like, that we don't want to create moldy humans. And I thought that was the most precious thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah, and it's absolutely true. He was smart enough to draw that connection, that these words of hatred and negativity projected onto the bread could create the same effect as humans. So with the credit to Christy and her boys, this fourth one got added to my list. Leave the human better than you found them. Maybe you leave them with feelings of already just feeling seen, felt, heard. Maybe you give them an extra little juice of positivity, of encouragement, or just expressing from your heart. Maybe they are someone close to you that you can say, I love you and I really care about you, you're doing amazing. Wherever it fits in, obviously you don't want to force it if it doesn't feel natural. If this is a networking event, I probably wouldn't say that, but I might compliment them on some positive attributes that I see going on with what they're doing, their mission, what they're doing in their business. So that just goes to show that the more we connect with each other on a more authentic level, the more fulfillment we will feel. We will walk away feeling better. We will be transformed from moldy bread to perfect and intact, pure white bread. It also goes to show that the more we consume online content, not that I'm saying you shouldn't, because a lot of learning takes place with the online environment. I totally get that. There's a time and need for it, but there's also balance. And this is just a reminder, a gentle reminder to watch that. Watch how much screen time you're devoting. Are you also closing your tabs after you do consume online content so that that cyber portal isn't still open and active in your field? Are you drawing back in your connection to nature, which you are nature? We are nature. And when you have connections with people, run through these 4 tenets of the authentic connection. Please let me know how this worked for you. I found a lot of fulfillment and just general walking away with positivity from these interactions, remembering them viscerally because we told stories, we created meaningful connection, and in a world with so much online static and superficial connections, it really stands out. So I hope these tips help you overcome the loneliness that we are all plagued with. Come back to the authentic connection and remember that you are human and that we are meant to have human connection with one another, real authentic heart-based connection. And I hope you enjoy these tips. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Much love.